31st, 2023 of remote meeting provisions. Per Governor Baker's extension, the public will not be allowed to physically access this school committee meeting. This meeting will be conducted hybrid. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment. Comments can be emailed in advance of the 6:30 p.m. start time to lreed@whittier.tech.ma.us. All comments will be recorded for the record, and all attempts will be made to mention them live during the meeting. Any emails received during the meeting will be mentioned at the following meeting. Is there any public comment?
I would like to make a comment.
Yes.
I'm not part of the public, but we received information today that a longtime school committee member from Ipswich passed away, Ray Morley. So I wanted to share that he was a school committee member from March 2000 to October 2013. He was also a chairperson for a while here. So, my thoughts and prayers go out to his family. And if we could just do a moment of silence.
Thanks.
I didn't realize it was 13 years.
Well-known citizen of Ipswich. He did a lot for us.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Tucker.
I move the approval of September 14th, 2022 minutes of the regular school committee meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
Mr. Noyce,
Yes.
Ms. Copinger,
Yes.
Mr. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Irving.
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde.
Yes.
Ms. True.
Yes.
Right. Mr. Havlet.
Yes.
Oh, Ms. O'Connor.
Yes.
Last but not least.
Treasurer's report.
Move approval of the treasurer's report.
Second. Questions or comments on the treasurer's report? You heard. Roll call vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Wood.
Yes.
Mr. Noyce.
Yes.
Ms. Copinger,
Yes.
Mr. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Irving. Dr. Testaverde.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Mr. Haviland.
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor.
Yes.
Forward. Old business. There is no old business posted. Reports and communications. Taylor LeBlanc.
October 12th, 2022, October School Committee Report. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and all other school committee members. Varsity football had a big win against Minutemen last week with a score of 29-6. This was the first win of the season. We have a great number of underclassmen that will step up to be great leaders in the years to follow. Our current seniors have been doing an excellent job of leading the team so far this season. Our senior homecoming game is this Thursday against Georgetown. Freshman football has been very competitive with big wins over Greater Lowell and Newburyport. We are looking forward to finishing the season strong. Boys soccer, both the varsity and JV teams have been very busy with games and practices. The JV team had a big win against Innovation Academy and then a tough loss to Greater Lowell Tech. The team has over 24 student athletes and a promising future for the program with a lot of freshman participants. The varsity team has had a few tough losses after starting the season with a win and a tie. They did rebound with a big win over Triton for the first time in a while, 1-0. They look to keep the winning streak going. Girls soccer is currently tied for first place in the league with a league record of 7-0-1 and an overall record of 7-2-2. The team's only 2 losses have come from top Division III teams. Out of all 4 division teams, Whittier is ranked 16th in the Division IV power rankings through the MIAA. Volleyball is doing very well. The varsity team is currently 10-4 and the JV team is currently 11-3-1. Before the game on Friday, our varsity team was ranked 9th in our division according to the MIAA Power Rankings. We played against Lynn Tech last night. The JV team went 1-1 and the varsity team won 3-0. Our senior night is scheduled for Thursday, October 25th against Pentucket. Boys cross country continues to show improvement throughout the season. The boys cross country team was led by a freshman star who captured the first place overall finish against Minutemen and Innovation on Wednesday. Girls cross country was led by a junior veteran star who continued her dominance by taking the first place overall finish against Minutemen and Innovation. She's continued her unbeaten streak in the CAC and has not ever lost a CAC cross country race. Cheerleading has been preparing for their upcoming competitive season. The varsity team will be attending an invitational competition in Wilmington on October 29th. Our CAC's competition is on November 6th at Essex Tech. The girls have been working very hard on our routine this past month. Both the varsity and JV girls are preparing a routine to perform at the pep rally on Thursday. Skills USA has been meeting every Thursday after school to start the process of getting our program of work organized for the 22-23 school year. We have implemented Framework Fridays as part of an initiative to promote a Skills USA framework culture. The Skills USA chapter hopes to partner with the Interact group to promote a breast cancer awareness activity during Spirit Week. Students from DVC have been actively working on the bulletin boards to advertise Skills USA. The 3 advisors have attended the Skills USA boot camp to kick off the 22-23 Skills USA school year. United Nations has had 2 club meetings so far this school year. We are happy to report that we have several new members this year following the club fair. We have had 2 successful debates and students are learning the parliamentary procedure. We have been invited to participate in several debate conferences against other schools and are hoping to attend our first one in November. Our next meeting will be Thursday, October 13th. GSA held their elections at the last meeting. There were many students running for the facilitator and co-facilitator positions. We are also preparing to host the GSA Leadership Council meeting for the Northeast region on December 8th. Multicultural Club, Miss Urena visited our group to share her story with us, where she's from, how she got to where she is, and what it is like to be bilingual. We are currently creating a public bulletin board on the 4th floor with photos of our group and greetings in different home languages. We are hoping this display makes all students of diverse backgrounds feel welcome at our school. Key Club has had 2 meetings and plans to meet every other Monday after school in the library. Members have begun looking for community service opportunities. On Friday and Saturday, a few members volunteered at the annual Garrison Golf Hole-in-One tournament to help raise money for the Tribune Santa Fund. They're looking forward to this upcoming holiday season as it brings with many opportunities to volunteer. Interact Club is busy planning their community volunteer events of the year. We had members of the Team Haverhill River Ruckus volunteering by handing out programs at the event. We also have volunteers at the Kids Kayak Day at Plugs Pond. Chess Club is off to a great start with over 40 members registered. We had our first in-house tournament of the year on Thursday, October 6th. The winner holds the title of Chess Club Master. We are also beginning our study of chess principles and the use of a timer to regulate gameplay. Student government has been working very hard this past month. We are very excited to be holding the first ever homecoming dance at Whittier on this Friday, the 14th. We encourage all students to participate in Spirit Week, which includes Tropical Tuesday, Cartoon Character Wednesday, Class Color Thursday, and Wildcat Spirit Friday. We also have been planning our pep rally, which is taking place Thursday afternoon, followed by the homecoming game that evening. Ski Club has a great turnout of 60 students signed up. We have 4 advisors this year already working hard at planning our ski trips. Students reported that they loved the night skiing at Pat's Peak last year. We are hoping to make at least 3 trips this year, one being another night skiing trip. Robotics has about 12 participants. We are working to educate our students on robots and how they are built. We would like to have a demonstration during the open house in November. Environmental Club had 20 students sign up at the club fair. We had our first meeting last week and plan to meet Thursdays during week 1. Our first initiative of the year is to get recycling going again at the school. We also have our endangered Blandings turtles back. There are 3 of them in room 3110. We will be raising the turtles all year with an anticipated release back into the wild date in June. Drama is planning for our 2nd annual Fall Coffee House on October 18th at 7 p.m. This year, we will have 15 acts and students from all 4 grades participating. We are also in the early stages of preparing students for our spring production. Art Club has about 40 participants that meet every Monday. We have been preparing for the big dog show that will be held at Bradford Common. We are working to craft clothing to put on the dog that represents different shops at Whittier. DECA has 6 participants competing in hospitality, marketing, and entrepreneurship. We are getting everyone ready for the competitive exams. Your book club will be meeting on October 11th with the new publisher, Josh Jins. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss the production process and schedule and printing requirements. Poetry has had 3 meetings so far. At the first meeting, we brainstormed ideas and mapped out a mission. We even listened to some poetry performances. At our second meeting, we learned about J.G. Whittier, his life, and poetry. At our third meeting, we thumbed through some Rupi Kaur poetry and even wrote poetry inspired by her. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. What?
This is
A lot
cool.
going on.
This is cool.
Are there any questions for Taylor?
I just have one. Where's the homecoming dance taking place?
I'm here in the gym, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds
Really?
plenty of room.
Yes.
This is a very professional report.
Yes.
She did a terrific
Great job.
job.
Thank you.
2 thumbs up.
I also would like to add that it's inspiring to hear about the many student activities that are going on every day.
Yes.
And the involvement too. And the kids being involved.
You have a club for kids that don't want to belong to a club?
They're working on it.
Thank you.
And a homecoming dance.
Why are you looking at me like that, Mr. James?
Superintendent's report, Ms. Lynch.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I also want to echo, it's just wonderful to hear about all the activities happening, especially since COVID, where a lot of those activities weren't happening. It does my heart some good, so thank you. Tonight, before you for personnel, I have some personnel and for informational purposes, a hire of a new electrical instructor, a portfolio liaison, a concurrent enrollment liaison, vocational instructor provide PD for performance matters, an articulation agreement coordinator, an AP liaison, an early college liaison, and a part-time security. Also, I have class club advisors. As you can see, they're doing their job here. The hires of those club advisors, event ticket collectors, Spanish translators, medical tutors, game clock officials, and resignations. There is not a budget update at this time. As far as MCAS, Ms. Jensen will give us a fabulous report in a few minutes. School building update, we've had several meetings. We're completing the Whittier education plan to submit to MSBA. There is still considerable work to be done. I do believe that as a result of our last building committee, we will be looking to pursue a building for 1280 students instead of increasing our enrollment to 1400 because of the larger impact and financial considerations for our communities. On Thursday, September 15th, I attended a meeting with the city of Haverhill and their department heads, along with our architects, JCJ and OPM, to discuss our upcoming building project. On Friday, September 16th, I attended a design option review meeting with JCJ in Lafayette. On Wednesday, September 21st, I attended the Whittier Weekly Executive Project Meeting along with Kara Cosmas, JCJ in Lafayette. On Thursday, September 22nd, I hosted a superintendent luncheon with the superintendents within the district. On Thursday, September 22nd, I attended the Workforce Competitiveness Trust Fund Advisory Board meeting, of which I'm a board member. On Wednesday, September 28th, I attended the weekly executive project meeting with Kara Cosmas, JCJ in Lafayette. On Wednesday, September 28th, I attended the MAVA Board of Directors remote meeting. On Friday, September 30th, I attended the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce breakfast meeting along with Principal Aganis to talk about school safety. On Friday, September 30th, I attended the North Shore Superintendent's Roundtable meeting at Danvers High School. On Wednesday, October 5th, I attended the Whittier Weekly Executive Project meeting with Kara Cosmas, JCJ in Lafayette. On Thursday, October 6th, I attended the Whittier Ed Vision Community Forum. I want to thank Chairman Brett Murphy and committee members Joanna True, Sandy Copinger, Dick Early, Greg Noyce for attending the meeting. I think that's everyone. We'll be reviewing that same information at our advisory board meeting and our open house. We feel the more we can get information out and get our public informed, the better. On Tuesday, October 11th, I attended the Whittier School Building Meeting. We're definitely having great discussions about how we can move this project forward. I've attended the Learning Loss and Cluster Chair meetings this month. Both groups have been focused on school improvement and how to move the district forward. It's been wonderful to be diving deeper into teaching and learning again. We've had 2 amazing professional development half days so far. We've covered topics in diversity, equity, inclusion, Skills USA frameworks, tiered system of response, learning loss strategies, and our upcoming NEASC review. That being said, we'll be having our 5-year NEASC review on November 7th through the 9th. I want to thank Dr. Kelly Fay on an amazing job she's done getting the report completed and coordinating the visit. And our traditional open house will be held on November 6th. Also, I have a field trip approval for the cosmetology class to go to the American Institute of Hair Color. This is in Londonderry, New Hampshire on November 9th.
Move approval.
Second. Mr. Early.
We have the proper paperwork in line.
We will before they go.
Thank you.
We need a roll call vote for this. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
Mr. Noyce,
Yes.
Ms. Coppinger,
Yes.
Mr. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Irving,
Right.
Dr. Testaverde,
Yes.
Mr. True,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald. Yes. Mr. Hamlin,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor.
Yes.
That is all I have for you tonight.
Quick question. On the AP liaison, is that within the house or is that with College Board?
It's in-house, our teacher in-house.
Coordinator of Data and Assessment, Katrina Jensen.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, and school committee members. I'm Katrina Jensen, your coordinator of data and assessment. Before I review the amazing data that I have to go over, I thought I'd just go over some notes that we thought were important to note. This past spring was the first time that the biology students took the test MCAS 2.0. So all the results we have for this year, there's nothing to compare to because before it was the paper test. All the Whittier Tech students, freshmen and sophomores, took it on their Whittier Tech iPad with the keyboard attached, so that's wonderful. The performance levels have stayed the same, so we have exceeds, meets, partially meets, and does not meet. And meets requirements is the new gold standard. It's if you remember MCAS before 2.0, it was the advanced category. Now that's the meets is that category now. Other items to note is that the results from the spring 2022 MCAS tests were mixed, with math and science scores improving and ELA scores declining, as reported from the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Whittier Tech did not have this trend. In ELA, we had 6.8% more students in meets and exceeds than the spring of 2021. Additionally, math had 5.6% more students in meets and exceeds than the spring of 2021. Since the spring of 2020, 1.7 million days have been accrued for absence for students in Massachusetts. Education Secretary James Pizer said it may take a few years for students to recover academically from the COVID-19 pandemic. And for the school year 21-22, Whittier Tech had a 93% attendance rate compared to 91.5% for the state. 99.8% of students at Whittier Tech complete advanced coursework. The state's rate is 65.3%. Whittier Tech's dropout rate is 0.4%. The state has a 1.5% dropout rate. The state graduation rate is 89.8%. Whittier Tech has a 98.5% graduation rate. And 100% of eligible students participated and were administered the English, math, and science MCAS, but the state participation rate was only 97%. So now I'll get into the data. So we have English language arts. So this year on the first go round, 98.4% of students passed the test. 63.3% got into meets and 6.5% got into exceeds. For all of our subgroups, we are above the state average. 2 digits above. Then I also compare where they were in 7th grade to 10th grade. And we had the appropriate increases and decreases in each category. For math, on the first go round, 96.6% of students passed, with 50.1 getting meets and 4.3 getting exceeds. Again, all of our subgroups are above the state average. And these kids, usually it's 8th through 10th, but with missing the 2020 year, they actually did 7th. So 7th and 10th, again, we have all the appropriate increases and exceeds and meets, and then decreases in partially meets and did not meet. For science and technology, this is where you'll only see the one chart because again, there's nothing to compare to. But for the first time, those freshmen passed 89.2% have passed the science and technology requirement. 31.6 got into meets and 3.2% got into exceeds. Again, all the biology, when you compare the subgroups, we're above the state average. And again, I didn't include that other comparison because there's nothing to compare because it's a totally different test. So where do we stand right now? Class of 2022 and before that, everybody leaves here with a high school diploma. Class of 2023 right now is 98.8%. I have filed about 5 appeals for students that are still struggling to pass the test. I should know about those appeals in the next month. So when Superintendent Lynch does her MCAS update next month, I'll be able to update you and hopefully we're at 100% for the seniors. And the juniors right now are at 96.3% with all of their MCAS passed. Any questions?
No. It's amazing.
Any questions?
Well, I just want to know, you're going to have Saturday updates or Saturday classes for the kids that are having trouble?
So we're going to continue with our after-school programs.
After school.
We have the learning loss. This is going to be our 2nd year of that. So we have those instructors helping out on Superintendent Lynch added Mondays to after school instead of just Tuesday, Thursday. So it gives the students another option to meet with their teachers. And then we do plan to do the vacation camp. So when they go home in December, February, and April, we will be here in the school Tuesday through Friday to make sure that they can still get some education.
That's great.
Go ahead.
Yeah, these are really extraordinary results. The learning loss teachers, they will be here this year and next year from the ESSER grant, is that right?
I believe so. I know that we had them last year and we have them this year. So I'm not sure about if it's a 3rd year.
Yeah. When you have the 7th grade MCAS scores and you compare, so you've gone back to the individual districts and gotten the kids' scores there, and so it's the same kids with the same kids.
Exactly. So once the October 1 report is filed, which is kind of deceiving because it actually isn't done till the end of October, but Mr. Williams helps me and he goes and claims like the current freshmen that we have, because right now they're not ours. They're not ours until that whole process goes through. And then I can go get the data. So I can get their history. So I actually can get like their 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, but I just concentrate on the time before we have them.
Right.
And then, yes, I have it by district and by school.
And so you said you are going to appeal some, what does that mean to appeal?
So basically, I fill out this whole form process, because students have to meet some requirements to even qualify. So they have to have an attendance rate of 95%. They have to have attended extra help sessions that we've offered, like after school programs, vacation camps. And then if they have taken the test 3 times in English and math and twice in science, I can file an appeal that says, with their teachers backing, this student is performing like the other students that got, like it used to be a 220, but a partially meeting score.
Yep.
We should let this student waive that MCAS actual test and give them the credentials so that they can get a diploma.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyone else?
Can I just say
Yeah,
something?
go ahead.
It was, I can't even say the amount of work that Ms. Jensen, Ms. Fay, Mr. Leganis, the whole administrative team, but really the teachers, those learning loss teachers, the teachers just really dove in and really wanted to make sure that the kids were able to make sufficient progress so that they were able to perform on this test. So I really have to say the teachers did amazing work under difficult circumstances, but did really amazing work to really help our kids get to this point. So I just really want to thank everybody.
We have to give credit to the students too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they've come a long way. They've been through a lot. I have a grandson that goes here. He used to hate school. He loves coming here. And that's a big improvement. You know, he looks forward every day to me.
We like to
Yeah, I
hear.
got one
Say
too.
thank you.
Someone else has one too? Sorry. Joe. Joe, do you have a student here too?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you say you have a student here?
Yeah, I have a grandson here. I have a granddaughter here. But my grandson used to hate school. And this midterm came out straight A's.
Wow.
So.
Great.
He's pretty cool. And the other one's a hell of a cook.
Oh, she's.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Thank you,
you.
Katie.
Vocational technical coordinators, Amanda Crosby and Paul Moskovich.
Good evening, Chairman Murphy, Superintendent Lynch, and school committee members. I am going to have my colleague and co-vocational coordinator introduce herself and report what vocational areas she supervises.
Good evening. Sorry. My name is Amanda Crosby, and I oversee culinary, hospitality, business technology and marketing, cosmetology, design and visual communication, dental assisting, medical assisting, health assisting, early education and care, community and visual arts, entrepreneurship, adult education, and CTI programs.
You need an assistant?
There used to be one person, now there's two of us, so we're not gonna push it.
And my name is Paul Moskovich. I oversee advanced manufacturing, automotive collision and repair, automotive technology, CAD drafting, carpentry, electrical, electronics, robotics, engineering, HVACR, our new marine service technology vocational area, masonry, metal fabrication and welding, plumbing and heating, and cooperative education. A quick report on our coordinated program review. Even though it's been over for over a year, there is still a few things that we're working on. One of them is the Whittier Respiratory Protection Program. Whittier is implementing the written program for the vocational technical areas, which has been submitted to DESE. Whittier Hearing Protection Program is in the final stages and will be submitted to DESE soon. And then the Whittier Whole School Safety and Operation Plan. What that is every piece of equipment, every hand tool, every power tool that our vocational areas use will need to be submitted to DESE with a safety plan and operating plan. And that will be done. The finalized stages of that will be submitted soon too. Community events. Whittier Carpentry Department are constructing a raised garden for the community action of Haverhill to be delivered and installed at Vesey Park Memorial Park in Groveland for a free community garden to serve families in surrounding districts. They will be building many of the parts of this raised garden here at the shop and then bringing it to the park and installing that. Our Whittier Automotive Collision and Repair has been repairing a number of vehicles and equipment for the Haverhill Water Department. The Whittier has been selected to decorate the big dog, as you had heard, in the Bradford Commons in Haverhill, October 28th through the October 30th. And Whittier will be participating in the 2022 Santa Parade in Haverhill and in Merrimack. The Cooperative Education Report. As of yesterday, we have 156 seniors participating in our co-op program. We have many, many new co-op partners that have been calling all through the summer, wanting to get involved with our co-op program and hiring our students. We implemented senior vocational instructors to participate in site visits so that the burden isn't just on the co-op liaison. So shop teachers go out and visit the sites that students will be working in to ensure that it's safe and follows all the guidelines. OSHA 10-hour credentials and hot work certification and EPA certifications. 350 juniors will be finishing up OSHA 10 credentials soon. 250 sophomores will be being certified in hot work. And that is in the applicable areas that require hot work to be a certification for those students.
What is hot work?
Hot work is basically any type of work that produces a spark. And through the fire marshal, Massachusetts fire marshal, the students will need to be trained and certified in that area.
Thank you.
Our HVACR students will be passing their OSHA 10 certifications as sophomores and the hot work, but they will be looking at their EPA certification and regulations and prepare for the 608 certification that they will be sitting for to try and pass that. We started it junior year in hopes that by the time they graduate, they will be finishing that and having certification in that area. Program updates. Our new marine service technology program is in the freshman exploratory role right now. It's been very successful. Many of the freshmen have a lot of interest in it. We have a dynamic instructor showing the freshmen the insides and outs of outboards, wave runners, and sea-doos. He has a couple really cool projects that the students get to make their own little boat and see how much weight it can take before it sinks. And so he has contests with that. So it's a real exciting program. And then Ms. Crosby will report on the graphics communication.
So effective June 30th, 2022, graphics communication is no longer offered as a vocational program at Whittier. Design and visual communications has absorbed some of the school's basic printing needs. The remainder of the school's printing needs are now handled by an outside vendor. Just some adult evening program updates. I'm sure you guys see that it's a little busy on Mondays and Wednesdays. The school comes alive at night. Adult education is offering all of the required electrical and plumbing code classes. Plumbing has 150 students enrolled and electrical has 151. Cosmetology licensure classes concluded on September 29th and will begin again with new students starting November 1st. New this fall, we are offering a CNA course and CNA and oil burner courses. We will offer 2 ServSafe certification courses. We have not offered these courses since the pandemic closed many of our non-essential programs. In addition, we are running personal enrichment courses for basic masonry, basic woodworking, digital photography, and introduction to electrical. Adult evening continued program updates. We are offering CTI, which is Career Technical Initiative, training programs this fall in advanced manufacturing and marine technology. These are grant-funded programs, and the purpose of this is to employ those that are underemployed or unemployed, give them training so that they can go out into the workforce. We have applied for grant funding to offer 400 hours in advanced manufacturing technology training through the Northeast Advanced Manufacturing Consortium, which will run January through July. We will be offering CTI training this summer of 2023 in auto body, carpentry, culinary, electrical, machine technology, marine technology, plumbing, and welding. Again, the CTI is all grant-funded program that is at no cost to eligible participants. This spring, we piloted a CBTE exploratory program for seniors from our sending community high schools who expressed interest in entering the trades upon graduation. For whatever reason, they didn't come to Whittier, but they decided as seniors in high school that they would like to go out and enter the trades. Students from Haverhill, Ipswich, and Pentucket spent their mornings at Whittier exploring one vocational program per week for 8 weeks. Upon completion of the program, the students had the option to select a CTI program for the summer of 2022. The CTI training programs offered 200 hours of no-cost training, career counseling, and job placement assistance. The CTI training programs during the summer of 2022 were auto body, carpentry, culinary, and welding.
Any questions?
Can I just ask why the graphics department was dropped?
So we had no freshmen, sophomores, or juniors enrolled in the program, and 3 seniors that graduated last year.
Did any of our girls or guys take the cosmetology exam from that class?
The new one,
Yes, the
No.
evening program.
not yet.
Okay.
It didn't start till October 5th.
Okay.
So we do have 2 students that we've started the paperwork for them to get their license. But I think it was a little bogged down with, we didn't experience it. I have to give a shout out to the cosmetology teacher. All of our seniors that graduated last year were licensed before they left, but a lot of the other vocational schools and a lot of the other cosmetology programs waited for the new test. So there were some schools that had 48 students that needed to test.
And I also hear that there's not a testing place for the practical exam.
There is no practical. It is written
It's
practical.
all written.
All written, yeah, so we have asked for the state board to have some sort of rubric to provide to the vocational schools so that the teacher can say they can do all of this stuff
Yeah.
before they go and take the test, because it's very
That's
surprising.
significant.
Yes,
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's a huge change.
yes.
Anyone else? Mr. Noyes?
What's the capacity of the CVTE program?
So we opened it up to 3 students per sending community.
And you only had 3 communities that responded?
Yeah, the barriers that we faced with a lot of the sending schools was changing the schedules of their students. That seems to be what a lot of the sending high schools came back with, that it was just not enough time to make those changes in the student schedule. But the ones that participated were able to make it work for the students so that they could participate in the program.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thanks both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Director of People Personnel, Christine Morrison.
Good evening, Chairman Murphy, members of the committee, and Superintendent Lynch. Before you tonight in your packet is the district's October 1 census report. I have also included a comparison to the enrollment data from last year for your information, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
In the categories, it was male, female, and one other category?
Yes,
What is that?
non-binary, students that don't identify as either.
Non-binary.
Mhm.
Is this new?
It's not new. It's a few years old in the state, and the state now takes that data. So that's why we include it as well.
That's good.
Yes.
Any more questions? Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Principal Legatus.
Tough facts to follow, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah. Good evening, sorry. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Lynch, rest of the school committee members. As you heard, our student rep, she was talking about the Spirit Week, and it's been quite a start. It's nice to see everybody back to normal. On Tuesday, we had, it started on Tuesday because we had the long weekend. We had Tropical Day. Today, we had Cartoon Day. Some of the kids were dressed up. It was kind of funny. Some of our staff members too. Thursday, we have Class Color Day. So tomorrow, The kids are all in different classes by freshman to senior year. And also we'll have the pep rally in the afternoon. So we're hoping that Mother Nature cooperates with us, or else we'll have to switch it in. We'll have to make a game time decision tomorrow, switching inside the gymnasium. Also on Friday, we have Whittier Wildcat Day. And then, as you heard, we're going to have the homecoming dance from 7 to 10. And we're all just waiting and ready to go. And there's a lot of the guidelines that I set out there. And it's just like Superintendent Lynch said, we're just happy the kids are back to normal, and we're going to give them some fun and let them blow off some steam, and we'll be there to watch them all for the entire evening. I got my dancing shoes ready to go, so we're good. We're good. Also during that Spirit Week in the pep rally, they showcase some of the sports teams that are out there. Hopefully we'll be out in the field. If not, we'll do it inside. And then there's a scoreboard, the Spirit Week tally. And we also have a trophy that we give Coach Bradley. He's great at being kind of the MC with that. And just thanks goes out to the student government advisors, student advisors, and the APs, to get all this fun together for the kids. They really need it. As you heard, open house will be held November 6th from 1 to 4. This year is open to 8th grade students and their parents and guardians. All vocation areas will be showcased as normal. And also our new marine service technology will be particularly promoted this year, as well as academic displays will be in the cafeteria, club displays, all our lovely clubs that we have. Vocational demonstrations will be open to all, and then additional displays will be located in the gymnasium. So make sure you pencil in your calendar for that, the open house. Guidance department, they're always working hard. College admissions and representatives working with them throughout the school year. Today in the gymnasium, we had the PSATs were administered. We had about 140 plus kids taking that, sophomores and juniors, kind of an even split for today. That's exciting as well. Also, Whittier, as we know, we continue its commitment to safety. We're working hard with the students and staff, which we're putting together a little safety committee, and ongoing and monitoring of school safety procedures, and also some of the protocols we're going to run. We've talked to the parents, we've talked to the staff, we've done a little training with the staff, and we're going to do Alice drills coming up. Hopefully, again, Mother Nature will cooperate with us in some of the evacuations that we'll do. And additionally, we're enhancing our Breathe program, which is the cessation program. And the cessation program is a 5-module program run by 3 new adjustment counselors. So it's exciting. We have new adjustment counselors there that have taken that program to another level. And those modules, it's all about the effects of drug use. And kids, when they get disciplined for it, that's part of the discipline, is taking that course. And then also, all I have is for you is check out the whittiertech.org, the website, and look up Principal Leganis, weekly updates. They're all out there, and all this fun stuff and the great stuff that's happening with kids. Academically, vocationally is out there, and you can see we have it all lined up online. So that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes.
Just curious where your evacuation place is for your Alice drills.
Yeah, so if you're talking just the building, just getting out of the building, we do drills in the south lot and the fire drills, and also back here where our maintenance lot is and the auto body. If you were talking all out evacuation, where we'd have to go into the buses and everybody get out of here. Right now, we're working, Superintendent and I working with some of the heads of the public safety over in Northern Essex. So that would be kind of an area where we can remove ourselves, get everybody out of here, and get our buses in here, and then head over there, and then we can figure out what happens then. During the Alice drills, we just train to get out of the building in some of the scenarios, or barricading, or whatever it may be. So that's what we have.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Business Manager, Kara Cosmos.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman,
Superintendent Lynch, members of the committee. I have a couple of things in the packet for you tonight. The first is the review of the 5-year capital plan. You get this every year at this time. It serves as a planning document that we update every year to project the district's capital needs over a 5-year period, and it's used in the budget development process. I wanted you to note that you probably saw several of the items on this list are expected to be funded through capital grants. We don't have any building capital needs on this list as they will be part of the MSBA renovation project. And that is the 5-year capital plan. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Also, first quarter of the year is done. You have a variance analysis from July through September. Quarterly transfers within major functional categories have been made to balance the accounts. As you know, we budget in January for September, and a lot of things change by then. So we have to make transfers often through the year between functional major accounts because they reflect what's happening in the school when the new year starts. And so we based the FY23 budget that was done in January was best based on what was happening and staff and all of the enrollments that happened last January. So things change over the summer, enrollments change, staff changes, and that's the reason why we have to do that. Are there any questions?
Going forward, what are you looking at with the gas, natural gas, electric, and fuel?
Well, we are lucky that we got into a contract. We have a consultant that we deal with, and you may or may not recall that we went into a net metering project. So we have experienced, and we expect to experience $25,000 to $30,000 a year savings in our electric bills because of the net metering contract. I'm glad that we have the gas contracts and the electric contracts. So I think obviously it may go up a little bit. I don't know. I don't know about usage. I don't really know how much it will vary, but
just keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I do keep an eye on it. I mean, it's kind of hard because the last 2 years were not the regular year, so they were lower. So this year is a regular year. Everybody's back, as the superintendent says, and we're back to full boat. So I do keep an eye on it. Thank you for asking.
When we're doing the new building project, obviously there'll be a big solar input in that, I would imagine.
I know that there are.
So it's really early in the process, but you look for net zero. So that you get points for so many net zero kinds of components that you do for the building project. But we will definitely be trying to make sure that we have some of those elements in the project.
Sir, I just want to check, do we need a motion for the 5-year capital plan?
I think a motion to
accept the-
accept. Yeah, I believe
All
so.
right, I would move acceptance of the plan.
Second.
Any more discussion or comments? Okay. Mr. Noyce.
The $250,000 a year for the iPads.
Mhm.
How many? I'm just, I apologize, I haven't really familiarized myself with the replacement plan. Does a student's iPad get replaced during the course of their tenure here?
No, the student gets an iPad when they enter as a freshman, and they keep the iPad for 4 years, and they turn them in. And we then, Mr. Williams works, and he sends them out to a company, and they analyze them, and they give us like a trade-in value, which we then use against the next year's purchase.
And the keyboards that I heard were used for the, were they used for the MCAS tests or?
I believe so.
How expensive are those?
Kevin?
They're all out of the case, so when the purchase happens in the freshman year, the case has a keyboard built in, so the student uses that whole kit for all 4 years. The keyboard just attached to that iPad as part of the kit.
Okay, so I went online and checked the prices of iPads, and so I'm hearing that you get a kit as opposed to just a single unit. But the iPads online were about $3,000 for $1,000. $330 a piece.
Well, we obviously, when you're a school, you get a different kind of a rate, but we can certainly go over that rate with you when we have more information.
Okay, because I mean, this number seems high.
Okay, we'll provide you the information. That
And
you're
so
looking
how
for.
would I deal with that in a vote, I guess? Well, we're gonna be voting.
You're voting on
A
whether
5-year
you believe
capital
in that
plan.
capital plan.
Right.
Right.
And so if,
And so those are estimates of the cost. They're certainly not, we have not gone out to bid on those. We have not done any of that kind of work.
So it's budgetary.
So this is a plan. This isn't necessarily
okay.
we're definitely going to do this. These are the costs. This is the plan that we have bringing forward.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Havlin?
Yes, could you tell me where you saw those 3 for 1,000? Because I paid 600 for the last one I bought my wife.
Best Buy had them at that price. There was another, I think Target had them at that
And
price.
this was a standard.
Like
iPad.
64, whatever. Yeah, so they were 326, I think is what the price was.
I guess I would say that to feel free to call me and ask those questions instead of feeling like you need to do that research on your own, because I'm more than willing to get that information to you before a meeting like today.
Mr. Early?
But everything we do buy here, we go out to bid anyways. So it's all competitive.
Have to.
And I don't think Big Buy or Best Buy, I don't think they're bidding on this stuff. They have an opportunity, but it's all out to bid.
I believe
We have
these
to
were,
go by those laws.
I believe these were procured under the 30B state contract. So
Oh,
it's
is that-
standard pricing for schools.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions? So we need a roll call vote. Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Knight?
Yes.
Ms. Coppicer?
Yes.
Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Mr. James?
Yes.
Mr. Urban? Dr. Testaverde?
Yes.
Mrs. True?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mr. Havlin?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. The chairperson. November annual agenda items. Review of curriculum, collective bargaining contracts, review and update of technology plan. Subcommittee reports, executive, we have not met. I don't know if there's a need for a meeting.
There is not this time.
Instructional personnel, Dr. Testaverde.
We haven't met, and I don't know if there's a need for a meeting. Is there?
Well, we can go over some of the learning loss and data regarding MCAS, take a deeper dive. I was looking at Wednesday, October 26th at 3.
I'm away. It's just me, so maybe, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm away from the 22nd to the 29th. Sorry.
You got the 26th?
Yeah, Wednesday, the 26th. Yeah.
Wednesday, the 26th at 3 o'clock. I can do that.
David?
I can do it.
Who else is on?
I can do it.
Garrett.
Garrett,
Three
can
of
do
us,
it.
so it's just me.
can you do Zoom?
Maybe. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
See how, yeah, let's see what kind of technology I
The
can
26th at
access.
3.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, October 26th. Yeah. Instructional.
Plan operations, Mr. Tucker.
Plan operations has not met, and we have been supplemented and supplanted pretty much by the school building project. We have an excellent building manager, and the committee seems to be doing a good job. If you need the planned operations committee, we stand ready.
I don't need anything
Well,
right
we
now.
still got this building for a while, so
Yeah.
we still need you.
Good try.
Salary negotiations, Mr. Early.
I believe we will be needing a meeting soon.
Yes, I have one contract that needs to be renegotiated.
Thank you.
So, do you want to wait until November, after the
Yeah.
November meeting?
Yes.
Policy, Mr. Irving.
Thank you.
Mr. Jim, we have not met, and I'm not sure we need a meeting. We pretty well.
We need a meeting.
Let me know if we do.
You don't need a second reading on any of the.
No, all that other, no, we took care of business
care
last
of
time.
The MASC has sent more policies for us to update. So could we do 6 o'clock before our next meeting, November 9th?
Fine.
I can do that.
How many do we know? How many policies do we know?
Maybe, all of the,
Okay, so
I don't know how many.
some of them cleaning it up or updates or new reference.
We'll have it ready for you to go. for
So
the next-
before the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You think a half hour is enough? It's not
Not
huge?
extensive.
Okay.
We're all set with subcommittee. Meeting dates, we just went over the subcommittee ones. Regular school committee meeting will be November 9th, 6:30. New business, there is no new business posted. There is no executive session posted.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second. Change a roll call vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Wood.
Yes.
Mr. Knight.
Yes.
Mr. Copinger.
Yes.
Mr. Tucker.
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Early. I mean, Mr. Irving.
Aye.
Dr. Testaverde.
Yes.
Ms. Strobel.
We.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Mr. Haviland.
Yes.
Mr.